everyone. My name is Paul Roukchan. I'm the National Sales Manager for Gravity Credit Management. And joining me today is Andrew Kingstone. He is the Managing Director of our business. The purpose of today's video is really just to provide some best practice ideas for debt collection within your own organization. We regularly get contacted by clients and prospective clients asking what measures can they take, what can they do to collect bad debt within their business before it is passed on to a third-party agency. Now, we wanted to do this video because we believe that a lot of businesses don't really understand what is required of them before they can start collecting on bad debt. While it is every single business's right to try to chase bad debtors and collect the money that is owed to them, there are guidelines that you have to follow within the legislation. And so we are here today to provide some of the best practice guidelines that you need to be aware of. So, Andrew, do you want to take us through some of those?
Yeah, no, I'll happily do that, Paul. Thanks for the introduction. Best practice, I mean, it covers a number of different elements, but primarily, if you're looking to collect debt, then obviously there's a couple of items of legislation that need to be considered. That's the Fair Trading Act. That's quite black and white in terms of its requirements. I'll cover them off. And then there's also the CCCF, which is the Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Act 2003. They both tend to, that with the Fair Trading Act, tend to govern what you can and can't do. As Paul said, you have every right to collect the debt, you're owed it, and as a debtor, provided it's a legitimate debt, then obviously you're due to pay it. You can't make false or misleading statements. It's not allowed. You can't say you're going to do something when you have no intention of doing it. You can't say you've done something when you haven't done it. You cannot threaten or intimidate the debtor, and you cannot make unreasonable calls at odd hours. So 50 calls a day, ranging from 10 o'clock at night till 2 a.m. in the morning, just wouldn't be acceptable. You cannot force them to continue to pay or pay when they actually don't have the means. That's bordering on harassment. And in terms of the Credit Contracts and Consumer Finance Act, basically, as a collector of a debt, you've got to do due diligence and act as a responsible lender or a responsible owner of the debt. Don't do what you wouldn't want done to yourself, I guess, and treat the debtor properly and with ethical guidelines. You know, very simple, sounds difficult, but in practice it's quite easy to do. Outside of that, there isn't a lot else that you are required to do, but these provide the basics of which you must comply. And us as an external agency are also basically an extension of yourself. So we also follow a lot of this.
And while this is a best sort of practice video and gives you a bit of understanding as to the things you can and cannot do, please ensure that you do take the time to familiarize yourself with the legislation.
Very important.
Yeah, it's what we've said here are just the absolute must-knows. But there is a lot of other things that you need to understand. Also, once you do that, make sure your terms and conditions are up to date and reflect that legislation. And if you are uncertain about anything, give us a call. We'd love to help. We'd love to hear from you. You'll see our phone number just below at the bottom of this video. Get in touch if you'd like any advice, or if there is something that we can do to help you collect any of your unpaid debt. So Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers now.
Thank you, Andrew.